So let's go through the problem and see if you were able to get the appropriate solution. I am going to assume that most of you did not get the solution to this problem. And why? It's because I was a little bit tricky with you guys. The problem that I gave you all is actually using HTML5. And in Selenium WebDriver, there's a known issue where HTML5 drag and drop doesn't really work. So I apologize for tricking you guys, but I thought it was a really good quiz because it kind of showed you that there are many different kinds of drag and drops available in the industry, and sometimes they may not work. So I hope you did a little bit of digging and were able to come to some solution. Usually, I personally just go to Google and try to figure out, why something isn't working, try to Google my problem. And if I'm not able to do so, I kind of just start playing around with the HTML and the elements and see if I can find a solution. Well, in either case, Google does have a solution to this problem, and I'm going to show you guys that now, and you'll be able to utilize it in the future just in case you do run into this problem again. So as I said, HTML5 drag and drop with Selenium WebDriver doesn't work. So what you have to do is actually use this drag and drop helper that this gentleman over here was kind enough to create for us on GitHub. I found this through Overstack because I ran into this problem and I was wondering, hey, why doesn't drag and drop work? Well, it's because it's not supported by HTML5. And so this guy provided a solution where he created this drag and drop helper.js file that we can run in order to simulate a drag and drop. And all we need to do is pass in the element identifiers and it will perform the function. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to download this drag and drop helper, which is going to be available for you guys in the course notes. And I'm also adding it with the source code so that you'll see it there. And when you download it, your code will look something like this. So if I scroll down a bit here, we're going to navigate to this website. And then we're going to wait until our source element is present. Let's make sure that that's the source element. So if I refresh this, and then I click on this, you guys can see that the source is column A, and then the target is column B, okay? And then you guys can see that it has a header of B, okay? But what happens when we drag this over to here? Well, I'm going to take it and drag it. So now A is here, but its header is B. And B is here, but its header is A. You guys see that? So that's how we know that it was dragged to the appropriate place, because column B is going to have header A. So I identified my source. After knowing my source, the next thing that we need to do is we need to read this entire drag and drop helper.js file. So I'm using the file.readAllText method to store it inside of this variable. Now, using the JavaScript executor interface, we are going to execute some JavaScript. So that's just a standard method provided to us by the Selenium WebDriver library, and we do execute JavaScript. We're going to put in the file, and then we append to it this string right here. And so in this hashtag, we place an ID, and in this hashtag, we place another ID of our target. So you guys can see this hashtag is in CSS, it means ID. So we're putting in our ID of the source and then our ID of the target. So that's the only things that I needed to replace, okay? ID here of the source, ID here of the target. Now, utilizing this, it should simulate a drag and drop.